This is Ryan and Amy Moore. They were one of the families affected by the flood back in August. Their beautiful family home's basement was completely destroyed after the city's sewage backed up.
I got a call from Amy as I was making my way home saying that the basement had started flooding. She had actually been talking to a neighbor who said their basement was flooding, and she thought she should go down and give it a check, and went down to find that the sewage was coming through our drain in the basement.
Amy rushed to the laundry room where she saw the funnel of dirty water coming through the drain. Immediately, she said she felt helpless, and all she could do was salvage the items untouched by the water.
It was bizarre. It was kind of just a reaction. It was like it's coming out, and it's like, okay, what do I do to stop it? And then you don't really think about it. You're just kind of lifting stuff off the ground, and then once we saw how much there was, and then we started to see stuff floating by, it was like, oh no, and then it kind of starts sinking in a little. But we didn't have a lot of time to think about it. We were just more reacting, trying to save as much as we could.
And then realizing that it wasn't dirty water, that it was sewage, just the thought of, we need to get this cleaned up and out of our home, I think was the biggest concern, not thinking about.
Get the girls out of it, because the girls were helping to clean up, so we threw them in the bath, and yeah, and then we didn't have a lot of time to react, so we went over to help my mom's and my mom's neighbors who had the same sort of thing. We checked on our neighbors here, and a couple were going through the same thing, and we were able to offer a couple sandbags and help out, and then we just kind of moved our way around the neighborhood.
But the shock really didn't hit them until a couple of hours later. When they went to file a claim through insurance, they learned their policy didn't actually cover the backup completely.
We found out that our coverage for insurance for sewage was $5,000 with a $1,000 deductible, so which is kind of a ridiculous number. Out of the 3 adjusters that came in, they actually said they had never heard of that number. They said the lowest check they'd ever given out was for about $15,000. So for us, it was a bit of a shock. We just assumed that with $1 million worth of coverage, that we're taken care of, that our house would be taken care of.
The total estimate damage to their home was around $30,000, but thankfully the Moores reached out to the Burlington Community Foundation for additional funding, and they just received their very first installment.
They're amazing people. They're very helpful right from the start. We had questions. Amy called, and they're very helpful on the phone, told us how to what we needed to do, and they've been great. So we weren't sure what to expect or to expect anything at all, and we were able to get when they actually sent it over in an email first saying that we had been accepted to get some money back. It was amazing. It was a great feeling, and it was kind of the first light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? We've had an empty basement, and I'm sure there's people that were a lot worse off than we were, because we still have our house and we have a roof over our heads and that sort of thing. But it was definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, and a good feeling to be able to start to put our lives as far as the way it was before back together.
Interim payments are being made once all 310 claims are assessed. The committee will then determine final payouts, and hopefully with the end goal by April 30th. For Halton Insider, I'm Kristen Demeny.